What's going on? Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media update. Remember the time that I did a video a while back on Lin Dunn and her comments towards Caitlin Clark about uh, her skill set, what Christie Sides need to do, how they're not playing her, the physicality of the league, how the league has been playing Caitlin Clark, and everything like that. So if you didn't remember, I'm going to play a clip for you just to get you refreshed.
Shots. I think the system has to create good shooting opportunities for your best shooters. And so if Caitlin Clark is good at coming off of a pin down or if she's good at coming off staggers, we've got to create ways for her to get good shots. But let's remember now, the best defender on everybody's team is taking Caitlin Clark. And so whatever you're running, it better be run at a real high efficiency or she's not going to get open or she's going to be trapped. Let's stymie that best player. So just getting her an easy shot's tough.
Yeah, that's my shot.
All right. So that was around the time that we was critical of Christie Sides and Lin Dunn about how they utilize Caitlin Clark, the physicality of the game, even when, especially we all remember the check by Kennedy Carter on Caitlin Clark. But since then, there still has been some things that still need to be cleaned up with the Indiana Fever and Christie Sides. Now, we hear fast forward now after the All-Star break or whatever the case may be. Now, this is not by all means for me personally to give Lin Dunn a pass because she should have been talked up for Caitlin Clark started the season when all of this was going on. She sat back. And it didn't happen until I think they went to Seattle to play and they lost and they had to go to Phoenix to play. And she said specifically to Don Derkich where she didn't hear the comments about what was going on with Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna see if I could play this clip again and see if it runs into it.
I tell people a lot of times it's incumbent. I'm running something for you, but you didn't come off the screen low enough, or I'm running something for you. You didn't set up your defender, change direction to get yourself open. There's a lot of things that go into getting somebody a shot because you're really not just, there were times that Iowa, she brought the ball down, jacked it up. But you're not really doing that in this area. And you're not doing that in the WNBA.
It's hard to bring the ball down and jack it up against somebody that's, longer, taller, stronger than you are. Those days are over. And I think, though, she's doing a really good job of adapting to the strength of the players that are guarding her, the traps that she's getting. And I love the fact that when she gets trapped, she finds the open man and creates shots for her teammates. They got to knock them down.
You said from the beginning.
Now, she said something that we all kept saying, and we have seen it in the latter games before the break, that Lexi Hall, Katie Lou, they all been open, but they haven't been knocking down shots. And she's creating opportunities for them. They just haven't been finished. This would lead to a lot of her turnovers in the beginning of the season as well. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to play a little bit further because I still want to get y'all to understand where I'm going with this.
That strength is going to be an issue. How big an issue has it been for her?
I think initially she was maybe taken aback, in my opinion, how strong some of these players are that were guarding her. But I think now she's adapted to that. She gets it now. I think she expects it, she anticipates it, and she's learning how to handle it.
Yeah, because, I'm Paige was drafted a guy, and the first thing I thought of was actually Caitlin Clark. I mean, he's not the dominant player, but he's not a great defender.
But anyway, so
veterans, if you're
my point being into that is that Lin Dunn has now made a 180, so to speak. And because the fact of the matter is that she has made this 180 and everything like that, it's it goes to show where Caitlyn game was in the beginning and to where her game is now. And like I said, there are still some things that Christie Sides need to continue to clean up because the fact of the matter is that we still see a lot of things that Christie Sides is not doing. Now, we have seen Caitlyn starting to take more shots, whether she's knocks them down or not, because she came straight out of college and into the WNBA. She had to play 11 games in 20 days, and she finally got a break in between here and there. But her legs, you could tell, has not got the proper rest that she needed. Now, when she gets a lot of rest, 2 or 3 days off, she comes back rejuvenated. Now, Lin Dunn Dan Dietrich, he has a really good relationship with Lin Dunn. So a lot of his information is going to come particularly because he conversates with Lin Dunn. He's inside the Indiana organization. I think he works for the Indy Star, or used to work for the Indy Star now. But on his podcast, he says something pretty astounding. Take a listen.
And when Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA, my wife said, you watch. You watch. Now, remember, my wife, longtime softball coach, a legend in the game of softball, understands women like nobody I have ever seen, particularly women in sports. She said, look, these women are going to be jealous. These women are going to be envious. Egos are going to get involved. There's going to be pettiness. Oh, wait. Michael Thompson, father of Clay, said the same thing on our show. Jeep, jealousy, envy, ego, that's EE, pettiness. Well, I'll be damned. And we all saw it finally come out. When Dawn Staley, who, by the way, Dawn Staley gives me gas. I mean, at one point in your life, at least look like a professional, not some, I don't know what the right word is, not some little kid. She dresses like a high school kid. She has no respect for nothing. She thinks she's something. Good for you. You win women's tournaments. Great. But she finally came out and admitted how stupid they all are. Now, let me explain this to you. Dawn Staley said that the United States Olympic Committee would have strongly considered picking Caitlin Clark if they had a do-over based on how she was playing this year. Just another lie. See, let's be honest. They were never going to pick Caitlin Clark because they are jealous. They are envious. Their egos were too big, and they are petty. Jeep. Boy, is that good. They were never going to pick her because the angry old lesbian crowd of the WNBA did not like straight white girl coming in. It was seen on the court with the shove by that Kennedy Carter. It was said to her many times. The word white biatch was said to her so many times that the Fever had to get with the league and say, what are we doing? Are we supporting racism? Is that what we do? And the league had to shut it down. Then all of a sudden, oh, wait, the uproar. Nobody's at press conferences for the women's basketball team over in Paris. Nobody shows at their stuff. I guess they play today and nobody cares. Oh, wait a second. You mean they would have if Caitlin Clark was there? Duh, when last seen, Caitlin Clark was hanging out in Mexico. I talked to the general manager of the Fever, Lin Dunn, the other day, and she's like, good for Caitlin Clark. She'll be on enough Olympic teams. We would have loved for her to have been on, but hey, that's the way it goes. Now, Lin Dunn stopped short of saying Jeep, but let's all be honest. All of a sudden, it's based on how she's playing now. Wait a second. I was told she didn't go to Olympic camps. I was told she didn't go through the Olympic process. Now it's, well, had she been playing well? Dawn Staley full of shit. I mean, let's just be honest. She's full of shit. She looks like an idiot when she shows up for interviews. She does. She looks like a little high school boy from a boy band back in the 90s. I don't know if it's In Sync. I don't know what it is. Kid to Play. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know what the hell those boy bands are. I guess I'll ask Nick in a little bit. But the truth of the matter is she looks like an idiot, she talks like an idiot, and she makes decisions based on idiocy, jealousy. Jealousy, envy, ego, and pettiness. I don't kind of like it. I love it. But all of a sudden now, it's not because she didn't go to the Olympic camp. It's because of how she's playing. These women are full of shit. And thank God for Lin Dunn going to the WNBA to straighten this out because it wasn't getting straightened out. Thank God she stopped the blatant racism, the sexism that was thrown at Caitlin Clark by these maniacs. You want to know why the WNBA has not been successful or nobody gave a rat's ass for 27 years? Go watch the interview between my boy Mike Tirico and Dawn Staley. Go watch that interview, and you'll see exactly why. Old school chicks looking like dudes, angry lesbians being interviewed on a set looking like a frickin' boy band from a bad band in the middle of Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, wherever. Well, Kristen Meyer is Caitlin Clark's high school coach, and she sent her a text to remind her that this wasn't the first time that she was left off the United States roster despite trying out. The way she's played, she would be in a really high consideration. This is Dawn Staley. Now, and think about the English on this. This is the head of the Women's Olympic Committee. Look at that face on her. That face right there is why nobody gave a rat's ass for 27 years about the WNBA. Angry lesbian face. The way that she's played, she would be in really high consideration. What? Of making the team because she is playing head and shoulders above a lot of people. Now, no shit, Sherlock. She did it from the day she came in. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? But Jeep, you, others, angry lesbians, jealous of a little white girl, straight white girl with a boyfriend. Angry lesbians could not put her on the team, and then they lied about it. And now I don't know why Dawn Staley didn't say this. I don't know why Dawn Staley just didn't simply say, hey, look, man, she's not on the team. I'll talk about the people on the team. Caitlin Clark's a great player. She's playing fantastic. Maybe the great motivator. Dawn Staley's trying to motivate whoever it is that she's talking about. Is it Jackie Young? Who knows? Because nobody knows who any of these frickin' players are. Except the most immature of all of them, Asia Wilson. Watch her act like a 10-year-old throughout her time here in France. Anyway, let me go to the high school coach. Despite Myers saying Clark performed well at those tryouts, she wasn't chosen for the under-17 team. She actually broke her pinky early in the tryouts, but I don't think that was necessarily the determined factor. There were just some players that I guess the committee thought played better. Myers said a locked-in attitude was seen in Clark in the gym. No, angry lesbians filter down to 17 and under. Angry lesbians running USA basketball is the same as me being bald. It's just the way it is right now. When diversity hits, either you kind of crumble and feel sorry for yourself, or it causes you to.
All right. So pretty much that we got the situation where he pretty much stated that, hey, this is what was going on with Caitlin Clark. This is what's going on. Lin Dunn had to step in. She had to step in. She had to, talk to the league, talk to the committee about her getting roughed up, the blatant racism, and people keep saying that there ain't no racism against Caitlin Clark. I mean, we could see the sabotage clearly. We look at the the All-Star. She didn't participate in the 3-point or the skills challenge. She took a break, and if you see what Dan said, he went on to say that her high school coach also commented and said, hey, this ain't the first time Caitlin Clark got snubbed, and then the next year she came back and she got into I think the FIBA U19, and then she won gold. So the things that I see now, maybe Lin Dunn is understanding, hey, my job could be on the line. My job could be critical to this too, because the fact of the matter is I have an incompetent coach. Maybe she got on Christie's side and said, hey, you need to cut out the antics with Caitlin Clark on the sideline, grabbing her and, talking to her, yelling at her and stuff like that. I still believe Christie Sides is going at the end of the season. I don't care what nobody says. Whether they make the playoffs or not, I think Lin Dunn gonna have to make changes, because I think now that the owner has stepped in quietly and went to Lin Dunn and said, look, you need to get your coaching in check, or you're gonna lose your job at the end of the season along with hers. And now you start to see Caitlin start to get more open, taking more shots, playing her game semi a little bit, not say all the way, but semi a little bit. Her numbers have become better, but there are still some jealousy there. There's some as Dan alluded to, especially I think the top jealous person of the league is more of Aja Wilson. I don't think it's so much Diana Taurasi. I don't think it's Brittany Griner. I think they just go out and show love. Yeah, DT could be petty, but you got to think about it. DT been in the game for over 20 years. She's 42 years old, so she's kind of like an old lady. Angel Wilson, she's still fairly young. She wants to be given every damn thing, and you can't. And that's not the case. Caitlin goes out there and busts her ass every game. Whether she struggle or whether she's not struggling, she busts her ass, and she doesn't complain. You know what I'm saying? She don't act like she deserves anything. She she goes on by her business all the time. But I do want to give kudos to Lin Dunn for taking this to the league. Now you don't see them roughing her up as much like they did at the beginning of the season. They'll foul her, but they won't play her as physical as they have been playing her in the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? So, but Lin Dunn's still gonna have to keep her feet to the fire because you got 15 games going into the second half, and you definitely have to get your coach in order because they back at practice. They're practicing now, and we want to see some change. Fans wants to see change. Content creators who follow the Indiana Fever wants to see change. Lin Dunn has to make changes. Me personally, I don't know why they don't pick up, sign somebody, cut somebody to help to better the team a little bit more. I don't understand that, you know. But hey, if it doesn't happen, we'll see. But let me know what you think about this. Has in your eyes, fans, has Lynn Dunn did enough to protect Caitlin Clark, or is this just the beginning? I think Lynn Dunn needs to do more. I think she, to me, I feel like she let it slip away a little bit from her with this coach and everything like that. I don't think this coach is the right coach for Caitlin Clark. Um, so, but it's good to see now that everything is starting to come a little bit better for her. So we'll see. But leave your comments below. Until then, the next time, Live Wire Sports Media, and I'm out.